What's going on YouTube? My name is FG3000. I'm back in the place to be, and welcome back for the last and final time to LYN the Lightbringer. If you have not heard the news, this game will officially be shutting down on December the 29th. It originally came out back in March of 2019, so it was just like a few months away from hitting that coveted 2-year anniversary. However, I think it's more surprising that Nexon let the game live for as long as it did, because the writing has been on the wall for quite some time. So in this video, let's go ahead and take one last final gameplay look at LYN the Lightbringer, and we'll take a look at the other games that are currently in Nexon's catalog to maybe make a prediction on which game will be shutting down next. So let's go ahead and get started off as we always do, taking a look at some of the heroes that you could have collected, but you didn't. That's why the game was being shut down. So one thing I always liked about LYN the Lightbringer is that the aesthetic, I thought, was just very striking. This is one of the more unique games out there. Not to mention it's also one of the few games out there that give you visual progression as your character gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Even some top tier games that aren't being shut down don't even do this. So I really did enjoy the aesthetic of this game, and it still looks like no game like it. I will definitely concede that, you know, for maybe like a technical level, like the polygons might not be as top tier, maybe even a little bit dated, but I do think the game still looks very good, and it had some of the most unique characters out there. So the character design, in my opinion, was definitely not one of the contributing factors to the shutdown of LYN the Lightbringer. Now, let's go ahead and do a little bit of gameplay here. Just like in most games, there is a tried and true campaign mode. So we'll go ahead and jump on in there first so I can show you, if just in case you've never seen gameplay of LYN the Lightbringer, what combat looked like here in the game. Also, one thing that has to be appreciated is the fact that all of the characters have voice acting. Once again, I think that's super important to allow people to get closer to those characters. Being able to hear their voice, their inflection, I think does a lot for that character's personality and makes it so that you don't even have to read the lore. You don't have to read any dialogue, Lazy FG, to know what type of characters and how these characters would act in these worlds based on just their voice acting and their inflection alone. So I definitely appreciated that. So let's turn down the speed just a little bit so you can kind of get a feel for some of the animations. Unfortunately, the normal speed in this game feels like super slow mode, but I do want to show you some of the animations and some of the ultimates here in LYN the Lightbringer. As you can see, really crazy things here. All those guns, I don't know where they came out of. We got this girl dancing. The character design was absolutely on point. This is one of my favorite characters here. She like balances this teacup on her high heels and she flicks it at people and she throws water on them. Really, really great design here. Then of course you have your quintessential main character. Check, did you see the main character? I should have brought this up earlier. Sword user, short hair, plate bits but not too platey, with all that red trim. You know. You look at my character over there with the I loved her. This character right here was definitely one of my favorites. I just love the way she almost flows on top of that little vase that she brings. So very, very nice. So now we're saying it wasn't the characters that made the game shut down. It wasn't the flashiness of combat or anything like that. I would dare to say that it was the really repetitive and just unfun daily gameplay loop that even me, I tried to play this game multiple times. Eventually I would just get bored because so many of the gameplay modes here just felt too samey and not unique at all. All right, so let's go through a few of the gameplay modes here so I can kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about, right? So we have Time Rift. Basically what Time Rift is a story campaign mode for individual characters, which I don't have a problem with. You'll go through here and you're gonna get more, fragments for each individual characters, but it does feel exactly like the campaign mode, right? So the next gameplay mode up is called Altar of Advent. Now, I like the rewards of this gameplay mode, but I do not like this gameplay mode at all. I used to deal with it back in 2017, 2018, 2019, but in 2020 and beyond, ladies and gentlemen, I just despise gameplay modes designed for you to just turn your computer on and auto-repeat for hours upon hours at a time. And that's exactly what this gameplay mode is. Once you are done with your dailies, what you would do for the rest of your gameplay time would be to turn this gameplay mode on, throw it on auto repeat, make sure you stack up as much stamina as you possibly can, and then just auto repeat this stage for hours and hours and hours. And like I said, the rewards are good because it would give you fragments for really good characters like this one right here, but at the same time, it's like, it's non-existent gameplay. It's just auto repeating all day long. Instead of doing something like this, you know, make it idle or make it skippable. Having people turn their computers on or turn their phones on, God forbid, and just throwing that bad boy in auto repeat for hours and hours at a time, I just do not think is good, smart gameplay. So the next gameplay mode that we have is raiding, which I do not hate. I love big boss raids. However, this is going to be one of those games where you can only play this gameplay mode at very specific times a day. So in 1 hour and 23 minutes, the raid will be open and I'll have to jump in here and matchmake with players. Now, I totally understand it. That's how you're going to get the highest quality matchmaking in a mode like this. But at the same time, I'm not a big fan of gameplay modes that force you to be on at a specific time of the day. I would much rather prefer having these bosses spawn on individual players' accounts via RNG, and then I can jump in and help my guildmates or help my friends, or, you know, hang out in the chat room and try to join in random people's gameplay, you know, to get rewards and to help carry people through. I think that's a much better option than restricting players to only being able to play at very specific times of the day. And of course, the same thing applies as raid as it does guild raid. This is more gameplay that's gonna force you to be here at a very specific time of the day. Not a big fan. Now, the next gameplay mode, and I'm using the term gameplay very loosely, is your tried and true daily resource grind. Every single day, there's a different daily resource grind that you need to go in and go through 3 times every single day. Now, once again, 3 times every day doesn't sound like a lot, but the tedium starts kicking in every single day. Let's say you play this game for a year, 365 days, my friend, times 3. Quick math. I don't know, but you have to do this stage that many times every single day. Eventually, you just get tired of doing this, but it's required because it's a material used to upgrade your character. So if you're not doing this, you're not playing the game. Once again, this is a prime candidate for an idle feature that you just give the players this resource every single day when they log in, or just make it skippable. Do something like that, forcing players once again to do exactly what I'm doing right here every single day for 3 times. Sure, having auto repeat is a great feature to allow you to, you know, go off and do something else. But I think once you get to the point where you're like, let's just make this gameplay auto repeat, just go the next logical step and make it skippable or make it idle, right? Just go that next step. You're already admitting that the gameplay is boring. That's the reason why you have to auto repeat it. Just take that next step, baby. Idle that bad boy. All right. Now, the next gameplay mode you have is Dragonia Ruins. Now, the best way I can describe this gameplay mode for all of my AFK Arena fans or even Illusion Connect fans, this is basically like a Labyrinth mode or an Illusion Corridor mode without the buffs. All right. Imagine those gameplay modes where you're kind of going from tile to tile to tile without the actual buffs. All right. To make it interesting. That's all this is. Once again, not really a fun gameplay mode. You can kind of go off the beaten path to get treasure and whatnot, but they could have made this gameplay mode interesting, but it ended up being, once again, content for the sake of content, in my opinion. It wasn't really different or interesting, and I think once again added to the daily gameplay bloat of LYN the Lightbringer. And then we have World Raid. I have no problems with World Raids at all. Do it at your own time. Try to score the highest amount of damage you possibly can. Get ranked, get rewards. Nothing wrong with World Raid. And some of the bosses in this game are quite impressive. So no problem when it comes to World Raid. This is a good, solid gameplay mode. Every game should have some type of DPS check style gameplay. So nothing wrong with World Raid. And then last but not least, we have Eradication, which plays exactly like Altar of Advent. This is the gameplay mode that you would just turn on your computer and auto repeat for hours and hours and hours. Eradication is the same exact type of gameplay. Why do they have 2 types of auto repeat gameplay? I'll never know. Here, you're a genocidal maniac destroying either the tribes of like the wolves or the yetis or the goblins or the lizards or the golems. So you just go in here and you go eradicate them all day, repeat battle. The same exact type of gameplay as Altar's Advent. So you have 2 gameplay modes in this game that require no interaction from the player once you have defeated the stage. So when we go back over here to the home screen, I just feel like too many of these gameplay modes kind of bled on top of each other and were just too similar, yet were required for you to do every single day to improve the power of your account and your character. So you eventually get to a point, like I mentioned, the tedium sinks in and players just begin to fall off. I say this all the time, especially in these shutdown videos. Game developers just need to be okay with removing gameplay modes that just do not work anymore, or combining the rewards in a different way. Like, there is no reason you should let gameplay modes linger on in the game just because you made them, right? And I feel like that's a problem. I feel like, yo, we spent development time resources making this gameplay mode. We're never gonna take it out. And I think that's just a bad idea. These games as a service need to grow and evolve over time. And if evolution means taking a gameplay mode that didn't, maybe worked in month 1, but doesn't work in month 8, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Be okay with removing or reinventing old gameplay modes. I swear it'll be fine, especially when it comes to gameplay modes like this and LYN the Lightbringer, which were just so similar. People aren't gonna be mad. People aren't gonna be like, now wait a minute, you took away one auto-repeat gameplay mode? We wanna have 2 auto-repeat gameplay. No one's gonna say that, I promise you. So that is gonna do it for the gameplay portion of this video. We'll just do a quick summon, just in case you guys wanna see the summon animation. But for the remainder of this video, I would like to look through the rest of Nexon's catalog to see which game is gonna be the next one to be shut down. So stay tuned for that. But let's see, what type of characters are, maybe we can get some high rarity character to end it all off. We got the Defender of Life, Sheila. She's an ancient, all right. Okay, let's keep on going. Boast to all. Nah, I'm good. Nobody want to hear from me. Let's go ahead and rapid fire this one. Anything good here? Pretty samey. Oh, let's take a look at this character here in a second. I think she might be the character I'm thinking of. Very descriptive, FG. Oh, I know. Rapid fire this one. And this is just all the currency I had just left over from playing the game off and on over the years. All right, let's take a look at that character really quick. Now, this is not the character I thought she was, but she's pretty cool too as well. Nice little robotic golem style character. So very, very nice. All right, so let's take a look at what's left in Nexon's catalog. So these are the remaining games in Nexon's catalog on the Android store. So you got Darkness Rises, Maple Story, Godzilla Defense Force V4, Kart Rider, Axe, LYN the Lightbringer, Runway Story, and Spirit Wish, which we'll talk about here in a second. So, all right, so let's start off with LYN the Lightbringer, shall we? Because we know this one's being shut down. So let's see what that dollar amount looks like, shall we? So less than 5,000 downloads. Just in case you guys have not seen one of my shutdown videos before, this number can never go below 5,000 on Sensor Tower. So you'll never see it say 100 downloads or something like that. So this could be anything from 1 to 5,000 downloads. I would definitely say it was less than 5,000 downloads for sure, and only 10,000 revenue in the month of November. Today is December the 1st, my friend. So the game made $10,000 last month, which is nowhere near the amount of money to maintain anything. So not surprising that LYN the Lightbringer is being shut down. Now let's take a look at some of the other games, shall we? So the other game that's also being shut down by Nexon, which I will be covering here this week, is Spirit Wish. The same exact thing, less than 5,000 downloads and less than 5,000 revenue. So even worse than LYN the Lightbringer. So no secret that this one is going to be shut down. Like I said, stay tuned for the video on Spirit Wish coming very soon. Now I know there's a ton of Runway Story fans out there, my friend. So if you're playing Runway Story, this is probably the next game to be shut down. Once again, less than 5,000 downloads, less than 5,000 revenue. There's no reason to keep games like this around. So anticipate Runway Story to be shut down very, very soon as well. So I saw a lot of people on Reddit predict the next game to be shut down is going to be Axe. Maybe. 70,000 revenue, it's probably trending downwards as well. It's probably definitely on the chopping block, I would say. I wouldn't expect it to shut down anytime like very soon, but maybe like mid next year, you know, maybe springtime or so. If the numbers continue to trend down and Nexon's newer games that are going to be coming out are doing better, and let's say V4 continues to do okay, then you'll definitely see Axe being shut down because they already have an MMORPG in V4. So if V4 is doing better, other properties are doing better, they'll probably go ahead and Axe. I'm sorry. 300,000 downloads last month. That's pretty solid with $4 million in revenue in just a single month for a kart rider game. You know what? Nexon is totally fine with this one. This one isn't going anywhere. Next one up that's definitely in danger is going to be Godzilla Defense Force. So it had 80,000 downloads. So the name itself, I think, is getting a lot of casual downloads. But once they get into the game, they're not sticking around and they're definitely not spending money. So $6,000 made last month for Godzilla Defense Force. This one's probably the next one to be shut down unless Nexon wants to use this game as kind of like an advertising vehicle, because 80,000 downloads is no joke. So they can kind of use this game as a launching pad for other Nexon games, because you know how you play games sometimes and there's like a pop-up window that advertises other games of the company. 80,000 downloads is no slouch. So maybe they just kind of keep this game to, you know, linger around for a while to help push some of their other properties that are going to be coming out next year. Maple Story M, 40,000 downloads last month. And once again, think about what we just talked about. Godzilla had way more downloads than Maple Story M. So 40,000 downloads last month, $1 million in revenue. You know, you'll take it. You'll take it. And last but not least, because I cannot get V4 to pop up, so I have no idea how that game is doing. But Darkness Rises, 200,000 downloads last month with $200,000 in revenue. This is another game that's definitely going to be okay. It's not going anywhere. So same exact concept applies. It's still making a good amount of money. Not to mention 200,000 downloads is a great vehicle for advertising, you know, cross-advertising other Nexon products. So Darkness Rises should be okay. So here they are, my friends, the last of the Nexon properties. Like we already talked about in this video, LYN the Lightbringer shut down. Spirit Wish also being shut down. That video is coming soon. I would definitely say Runway Story is the very next one to be shut down. Godzilla Force financially might be shut down, or they might keep it around just for advertisement purposes. Beyond that, Axe is the only one that's close to being shut down. I do not think that Kart Rider is going anywhere. I think V4 is going to be okay. Maple Story is going to be okay. I don't think they want to have another story of like Maple Story being shut down. You know, you already have Maple Story 2 shut down. I don't think they want to have another headline saying Maple Story M is shut down. So Maple Story is probably going to be okay, at least for 2021. And Darkness Rises is in the same boat as that. So that is that, my friends. Looks like Nexon is definitely cleaning shop as they make room for some of their more high-profile titles that will be released in 2021. Don't be scared. You scared? You might be. So that is gonna do it, my friends. My name is FT3000. I thank you a ton for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.